what does being mindful really mean? And how does one make those little shifts, on a day-to-day basis to be mindful more and more, of the time than not being mindful?
Everything that's happening in my life is my outer world. Everything, how I'm responding to that, is my inner world. So now there are two worlds. One out of these two worlds should be in my control. My life will be fine. So which means there needs to be certainty in one of these two worlds. Go back 30, 40 years, there was more or less a certainty in the outer world. The weather would be how it would be in which month, there's a little certainty. Age, marriages, profession, you join a company, you were there till the age of 6. So there was a certain element of certainty. And in that era, if you make your mind dependent on the outer world, it's fine. You more or less work okay. So we were not talking about stress 25 years back. When you and me were in college, school, there was no such word as stress. It was only in physics. We were not living our life saying, I'm stressed, you are stressed, we are stressed. It was not there. There was just a little tension one day before the exam, one day before the result, and that's all. So, and it was high pressure education. I mean, honestly, when today's children say, oh, it's our education, but then I feel, what are they even doing now compared to what we were doing? You can't even compare how we have done our 10th standard compared to what a child today is doing 10th standard. So what are we trying to do in the education system? We're trying to make it easier for them. Honestly, not a very good idea. Not a very good idea. You cannot reduce pressures. If someone is going to the gym, they are not going with the intention to reduce the weights that they are going to lift. They are going to increase the weights that they're going to lift. That is going to be an indication of their health. That's the purpose. So when you and me did 10th standard, ICSE, we did 3 years subject in our final board exam. 3 years and 2 exams in a day. So we were going to school at 8 o'clock in the morning, coming back at 4 o'clock in the evening. 5 days. We started on a Monday and we finished on a Friday, and it was over. So 5 days, 2 exams of 3 hours, each exam covering a 3-year syllabus. It's called pressure. And yet we were not talking stress, leave alone saying anxiety attack and panic attack. Those words we did not know. Come today, they have 1-year syllabus, 1 exam, then a week's holiday, then 1 exam. I mean, if we would have finished our studies in that 1 week only. So why are they saying that it is the education system which is? So it's not the truth. It's not the truth. So what are we trying to do? We're trying to simplify the outer world. Change this, make this easier for them, make this easier for them. The more we are making it easier, the tougher it is still becoming for them. So because it was not about reducing the pressure, it should have been about building up the resilience. So stress is equal to pressure divided by resilience. So mindfulness is teaching us to take care here. So if I start taking care of resilience, which means how I think, how I feel, and I strengthen that resilience on a daily basis, not just that I'm taking care, I'm strengthening it because pressures are increasing. So that is what is mindfulness. But if I keep creating all sorts of thoughts and then I'm depleting that inner power, and even if I reduce my pressure, I still don't have the strength to face it. I still don't have the strength. So we need to start focusing on the denominator, and it needs to start in school. Now, best is to start actually the right time to practice meditation and mindfulness is when the soul is in the womb of the mother. That means during those 9 months, if a couple starts experimenting and experiencing this, you have sown the seeds at the right time. Now for that child, it will be a natural way of being and living. And you've written a destiny.
Because the world, what you said, the outside world has become so uncertain, so disruptive, so unpredictable. And you know what you rightly said, in our days, we could go through those exams. Today, the word mental health and stress is now coming to children, it's coming. So, you know, to be able to deal with a world like this, I think the earlier one gets into the habit of taking care of the inner self rather than trying to control the outside, which anyway is not under your control.
So
is
one of them,
the best journey.
One of them needs to be certainty. So one is let the world be perfect, then it's I'll be fine here. The other is I'm fine here, Now let anything happen.
Correct.
I have the strength to be able to face it. Life is in control. But if this is also not in my control and this is also not in my control, then life becomes very difficult for people because they feel they're very helpless. Nothing is in their control. And then the slightest trigger outside is creating chaos inside.
And over these last years, we have missed touching upon that aspect of creating that strength inside. And you're right, if everybody's strong from inside, the outer world will automatically, shape up.
Yeah.
So coming to that next point, right? Like once you're mindful, then you have the ability through the process of affirmation, and maybe we can go a little deeper into that, through that process, be able to shape your situation, your world in a better way. When people talk about it, it only resonates with people who have experienced that, or those who go through it and see an outcome. Because scientifically, or the way, at least where science is today, when we try and talk about thought influencing your situation rather than you being reactive to a situation, it doesn't resonate, with many people. Of course, quantum theory and mechanics are trying to prove that, but we're still a while away before science, really proves that. You too can start or enhance your mindfulness journey using the ThinkRight app on iOS and Android store. It's got a huge number of daily affirmations, daily journeys, daily meditations that will enable us to hold your hand as you move in this transformative journey of life.